This is the graph of f of x, and I'm going to graph the absolute value of f of x. First thing I'm going to do is the region between where x is -2 and 0, I'm going to reflect that up above the x-axis. The point -2, -2 is a good point to actually move, since that's kind of a reference. So between 0 and 2 is already up above, so I'm just going to overlap it and make sure whoever's marking this knows that I know that's part of my absolute value. I'm just going to show the regions now. So I want to know what's the domain of f of x and what's the domain of negative f of x. So basically that's saying where does it stay the same and where does it get reflected. So the first region is between 0 and 2 is f of x because it stayed the same. And then the second region between -2 and 0 is negative f of x because that's where it got reflected. So everywhere it stays the same is f of x, and everywhere it gets reflected is negative f of x. So the domain of f of x is 0 less than equal to x is less than equal to 2. The domain of negative f of x is -2 is less than equal to x is less than 0. For the domain of f of x and negative f of x, 0 is the overlapping point. So because f of x is the one that doesn't change, it gets 0. So you can't have 0 on both f of x and negative f of x. So any point that overlaps, negative f of x never gets it. F of x always wins, basically, because it's staying the same. Those points never changed, so they're on f of x, not negative f of x.